Hey everyone, my name is Nathan Payne. Welcome back to another episode of Blu Ocean Crypto. So today I want to talk about the final marketplace release. Mavia just dropped that it's coming on the 22nd, so just a few days away from now. I want to go over my insights, talk about what I expect from this, what's coming, what it's going to mean for us, and I'm stoked. I thought it was going to be closer to the end of January. It's really exciting that it's going to be on the 22nd. So let's go through the tweet and the information that we do know, and we'll just dig into it a little bit deeper. Okay, without further ado, let's jump right in.
I want to play.
Okay, so this is kind of all we got right now. They posted this on Twitter. They said the final web marketplace exchange launches January 22nd. In the coming days, team's focus will be more players and incentives, higher earnings for all, tournaments and wars, sustainable Ruby inflation, referrals and partnership, and marketplace optimization. Stay tuned. So let's dig into this a little bit. Clearly what they mean here is that the final marketplace launches on the 22nd, and all of these other things are either going to be very closely around that or coming in the near future. So they're focusing on new players and incentives. We do know that they already added the level rewards in game. That's a great way for help retention, as well as just give a sense of progression to players so that they have something to work towards until we get wars. Because really the linchpin in base builder games is you need a competitive scene. You need competitions. You need a reason to progress your base. Farming is well known as the least enjoyable activity in these types of games, but it's a means to an end. What's the end currently in the game? There is none, right? We don't have in-game rewards yet. Really, it's just to get more Ruby. And I'm glad that they have that, because the 3200, getting the max Ruby, that's what's giving us that sense of progression right now. You add a couple layers on top, now we're in business. It's going to help massively with attracting new players, retention, all that great stuff. So the fact that they talked about higher earnings for all, I'm not exactly sure what they mean. Maybe they're talking about the new level rewards, how they boosted up the earnings for new players. So that could kind of be part of it. I don't know if they have any other plans for it necessarily. And the reason why is because they talk about sustainable Ruby inflation. So I don't see them upping our limits necessarily, but maybe there'll be some other interesting ways for us to gain Ruby through quests or accomplishments or events, or who knows, maybe that's what they're talking about. Most important to me is the tournaments and wars. And the fact that they put this on this list has me stoked. It shows me that the team really understands the importance of this, why it's so key to the success and development and longevity of the game, that they're saying, yep, this is our focus. We're going to get tournaments going. We're going to get wars. Now, tournaments are interesting because if you go back and look at, like, even last year, some of the Medium articles with the, I think it was the February update in particular, they talked about one-on-one, 3v3, 5v5, multi-format, alliance versus alliance. They talked about guild versus guild. They obviously had a lot of ideas for tournaments. And actually, if you go to the Mavia docs page, you can even still see that there's a little tournament photo on the right-hand side that says coming soon. I think we might see tournaments before wars, but that's going to give us some competitive focus to build up into wars, and I would love to see that. Also, they didn't really talk about adding in earnings for rankings yet, but I'm sure that's part of the plan at some point along the road. I'm kind of hoping that ties in with tournaments a little bit. Maybe some of the first tournaments are simply leaderboard or ranking based, and that's how they do it. And then they can kind of arch off into, other types of tournaments and things like that. Really, sky's the limit when it comes to this. There's a lot of opportunity for different formats of tournaments, how we can do them, how they can be operated, especially if the ability to create them is put into the community's hand. Like, if, I'll give you an example. When we have wars, we can formulate our own brackets, our own events, our own tournaments, our own prize pools. You can do it so that every alliance has like a ticket that they buy, $20, $50, whatever. You pool the earnings from the tickets into the top 3 alliances, like things like that. We used to do this in Clash all the time. Actually, in Clash, esports was really formed by the community. Clash of Clans didn't do any official tournaments or World Series or anything for many years later. So really stoked to see this. Don't want to spend too much time on it. You guys have heard me talk about this before and how excited I am, but it's really great that they have it here. Now, the sustainable Ruby inflation, I'm not sure what they're getting at there, But I do think it's good that they mention it because obviously it's a concern. It's the economy. It's super important. And I know there's been some things lately that people got a little concerned with, like the market makers minting the Ruby and things like that. So it is good that they mentioned it there. They talk about referrals and partnerships. Now the referrals thing, the only hint I have on this is when we had a screenshot, like a preview of the Pioneer Season 2, which I do wonder when we're going to get that to. My guess is with this marketplace release or sometime soon. That might be something they're hiding or they're keeping secret right now, but we'll see. But either or, I remember seeing on there that there was rewards for getting referrals. So I wonder if that's what they're talking about, which would be a great way to bring in some new players, add incentives to existing players, give us that referral-based system. Of course, I'll be posting my link when we get to that point, and anyone who hasn't seen this video, I'm surprised if you're not playing Mavia, but I'll find some cool ways that we can promote the link and stuff. And I just think it's great. It's going to give people more reason to promote content. They're going to have a referral link. That's my guess anyways, because we seen it on the preview photo of Pioneer Season 2. They talked about partnerships too. I'm sure they've been working on some things. They did tell us that they had some pretty big key partners that were waiting to deploy until this finished. Or once the marketplace was finished. So I'm sure we're going to hear more about that. And of course, there's probably going to be some more exciting ones in the near future. And then continued marketplace optimization. That just makes sense. You know, there's a lot of dynamic moving parts there. So of course, they're going to have to keep on top of it. This is awesome, guys. This is great news. It's happening so quickly. It's really nice to see. I know they've got some other things to be delivered, like statues, and there was that wheel as well we've seen on the patch notes. I'm really curious when we're going to get that. But yeah, I'm stoked. This is going to be exciting. 22nd. Let's go. Okay, as always, thanks so much for being subscribed to the channel. It really helps out. Do me a favor and smash that like button, and we'll see you all in the next video. Cheers.